going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today I have for you a car review on the 2023 Cadillac XT4. Now this is a crossover, and I know a lot of you enjoy crossovers. It's perfect for Colorado, being all-wheel drive. So let's kind of dive into some of the features it has. So if we come in here to the front of the vehicle, this specific one is white with a Sedona interior is what they call it. It's this kind of brownish tan color. And then we also have wood accents in the back here. You have a adjustable seat here. This also does have a massaging seat feature. You just kind of rock this one way or the other, and it turns on the massager. You can also just press this button right here. Will massage you. It's pretty nice. You have some rubber with metal sport pedals down here. They seem to grip pretty well on your feet there. You do have an adjusting steering wheel that will go up, down, and back and forward there. It's a tilt and telescoping steering wheel there. As we come around to the back here, of course this does have the Sedona interior all the way around. It wouldn't just do it in the front there, that'd be interesting. We have surprisingly a good amount of leg room. I mean, I'm 5'8", with this seat in my seating position. If I hop back in here, my knees have probably a good 4 inches away from the seat in front of me, so you have pretty good leg room in here. If you had someone that's 6'2" in here, they may have the seat further back, and you may have a little bit less leg room, but not bad there. You do have some vents back here. You do have heated seat, USB-C and regular USB. Right here, you do have cup holders in this drop-down center console. And of course, you do have the sunroof back here as well. As we open up the trunk here, you have quite a bit of cargo space back here. Wait, cars don't go to space. Cars don't fly. Come on. You can fit quite a bit of stuff back here. It's surprising how much room there is. Most crossovers, they have like 0 trunk space behind their second row. This does have a highway safety kit. Under here, you do, I guess, have an option for a spare tire. It does have the cutout there for it. This one does have an inflator kit. As we come to the engine bay here, this is GM's 2-liter turbo LSY engine. Makes 235 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. It is pretty quick, especially mated with GM's 9-speed transmission. In here, you do have easy access to a lot of things. You can easily check your oil right here, top off your washer fluid right here, check your coolant level, brake fluid, stuff like that. It is a pretty nice setup GM made here. It's all nice and compact in here, and actually easy access to pretty much everything under here. As we come down here to the brakes, we have a 235/60/18 tire on here. That's a Continental. That's what comes on there from factory. 18-inch wheel. In the front for the brakes, we do have a 2-piston caliper, just a general floating caliper there. This does have the active sport suspension, so it is electronically controlled. It is a McPherson style suspension there, so you have a lower control arm and just the shock that goes up there. And as we come to the back, we do have a single piston caliper back here. Of course, same tire and wheel back here. It's not staggered or anything. This does have multi-link rear suspension though, so it does give this a pretty good handling feel, like you can just drive through the mountains on windy roads and you'd have all the traction in the world. So I'll go over some of the interior features here with you guys. So here is the main home page on here. We do have a climate control right down here. You have your radio over here, your phone if you happen to have it connected over here. If you swipe to the right, you can get to specifically to the full audio thing where you can, select AM, FM, more like Bluetooth, stuff like that. You do have like sound where you can adjust like your bass, your mid-range treble, your balance, fade, stuff like that. We also, if we go back home, can click on phone, connect your phone, you just click that, go into your phone, click on Bluetooth settings, and you just search for the vehicle. It'll say like My Cadillac or something like that. Fairly simple. You can use recents, like if you've recently contacted someone, you have your contacts right here as well. What phones are connected, you can connect multiple phones to this. You can also have the controls down here that'll also, take you straight to the music. You have navigation. You do have your full climate control, which you also do have buttons right down here for as well. You have rear defrost, front defrost, which will, of course, turn on the full defrost there. Your sync, your air recirc, your air conditioning, your heat and temperature controls. This does have dual climate control as well. If you say want to use like that one, like that person over there is a little bit too warm, you can turn that down, and you just press sync to sync them back up if you say like you're the only person in the vehicle, stuff like that. You do have these controls here which you can use to say turn on the defrost and the feet. They've also updated in these newer vehicles where you can use defrost and it come out of the face vents as well, or you can even do all three at once, which is interesting. This specific model does have heated and cooled seats. You have park assist, of course your hazards, lane keep assist, and heated and cooled seat on the passenger side as well. Right down here you do have a USB-C and a standard USB port as well, and also a general 12-volt socket, and then this little sliding cover here as well. So places to keep your phone, there is this little phone pocket right here, right below the armrest here. And what I think is kind of funny is I actually did this last night on my way home with the vehicle. I threw my phone right into the center console. I think that's kind of funny. But there is multiple adjustments here to be able to adjust this up and down. So if you want your phone to stick out a little bit further, if you want it to go a little bit deeper, you just have all these adjustments here. You do have this little tray right here. You can put like change in, stuff like that. You do have another 12-volt socket there, and it's lined with felt inside of there, so it's pretty nice. You come down here, you do have mode button, which you can change it from tour to all-wheel drive to sport, off-road, stuff like that. You do have auto start stop where you can disable it there, so it'll say auto stop off, auto stop on. You do have a traction control button here. You also have these controls here, which this knob can control everything on here, so it does rock left, right, up, and down. And then you can also click down, you can press it in. You can also say, like if you're scrolling through the radio, you can scroll kind of through a bunch of different stations there. You do have controls to go to the phone. You have these to go next and back if you are connecting your phone and you don't want to control all the music through your phone. You can press these to skip back and forth. You do have the home button down here as well, which will also take you back to the home page. You press it again and it'll take you to the full stereotypical home page where you have everything there. Coming over here to the steering wheel, of course we have the nice Cadillac logo. We have heated steering wheel, and then you have your gap for like your collision assist there. This does have cruise control. This specific model does not have adaptive cruise, but I think that is an option available on these. You'd have hands-free, the phone button to end a call, these to skip next and back on your songs if you have your phone connected. These controls will control up here. You can go through and like choose music, navigation, phone, change a bunch of different things in the screen there. This does have a scroll type thing, and this also does click in as well. You do have volume control here. This specific model does have heads-up display as well, so you can adjust it up and down. You can also scroll through, say have music, have a compass, have your RPMs and the speed, and then just general speed. Over here on the left side, we do have the window controls. This one does have power folding mirrors there. We do have the seat setting buttons, and then right down here in the door, I just learned this from another person that was watching my CT5 review, that the CT5, the CT4, and the XT4s also all have this here. This little cubby is an umbrella holder, and I was like, wow, I did not know that. You do have your trunk button here, which if you keep it on max, it'll open up all the way. You turn it on 3/4, it'll open up 3/4 of the way, and you can just completely turn it off, and it will tell you up here, power liftgate switch off. So there, if you shut it off, it will not pretty much open the trunk at all. Over here on the left, like turn signal stock, of course you have your turn signals and brights and stuff. This does also have auto brights. On the right side here, this does have wipers with auto wipe as well. It does have a rain sensor up in there. You do have the rear sprayer and everything like that on this side as well. And of course you do have a general locking glove box, which you'll take the key blade out of your fob there to be able to lock. So this is the Sport Model XT4 for 2023, and it does have active suspension. So when you put it in Sport mode, it definitely stiffens up just a little bit, and if you put it back into Tour mode, it just kind of floats down the road. And because of the weight of the vehicle and with that active suspension, when it does switch to that softer feel, it feels like a Cadillac should. And it's, when you put it in sport mode, it feels like a sports car. It's just really nice and cool how they were able to do that with this vehicle, because most sportier style crossovers, I guess, generally don't feel like this. They don't have the adaptive suspension that you can just adjust on the fly like that. It's just really nice. And with the 2-liter turbo engine that they attached to this, it has a 9-speed transmission. It just feels pretty quick, and you mate that with some good suspension, and you have a fun car that you can drive daily. On the weekend, it feels pretty sporty. I mean, it's definitely not a Corvette or anything like that, but it makes you want either something like that, or it makes you like glad that if you have something that you need to have the space for people to hop in, that you can still get that same feeling as if you were like driving a Corvette. Alright, it's time for the braking test. No one's around. Woo! Yep. Used ABS and traction control light were blinking, but those brakes work really well for not being a Brembo. I have to say, that's really good. Alright, so we're coming up on some corners here, and road conditions are a little wet out here because it's been snowing. You can see some snow built up on the side of the roads here, and this vehicle has a really good driving feel. I mean, for how short it is, it's probably because of the short wheelbase. It feels super nimble, and it feels lightweight, even though it comes in at like 3,900 pounds. It feels super nimble, and just taking these corners, it hugs the road, which is really, I feel like, almost hard to do in a crossover, but it seems to handle really well. I mean, for daily driving, this is great. It's smooth down the road. I honestly kind of like this. It's pretty interesting how it feels. Alright, so I'm going to get ready to do the launch test here. Have it in sport mode, which turns on the all-wheel drive. Turned off traction control there, and let's see what we can do. Yeah, I would say this thing definitely gets up and goes. You have plenty of power to be able to get out in traffic. It moves quite well there. I really enjoy this. So with this, for fuel economy, you get, they say you're supposed to get an average of 23 in the city and 30 on the highway, which I'd say is really good, especially for something that weighs 3,900 pounds. So an average of 26, that's really good. And it has a 15.9 gallon fuel tank. You should be able to go, it says, roughly about 400 miles per tank, which I'd say is really good in all honesty. I personally have been averaging, this says the best is 17.3, but of course it only has 79 miles on it, so it's not really, doesn't really have much to go off of there. But looking at it right now, I'm kind of cruising on this highway right around 52, and it's averaging right around 26, so I'd say that's really good. Over the fob features here. That is, you have lock, unlock, remote start, and trunk. So to do remote start, what you'll do is you'll press lock at least once, and then hold down the remote start button, and it remote starts. If you want to shut the vehicle off, just hold that remote start button, and it shuts right off. Alright, so overall, this vehicle, based on how I've driven it and everything, I really like how it feels. It accelerates well out into traffic. It's got plenty of power, especially with that 9-speed transmission. The overall comfortability of this is super nice for a crossover there, and you just don't get that with a lot of crossovers. You don't get that luxury feeling. This is overall just a great vehicle. You have space to be able to hold other people, go to the grocery store without any issues. It's surprisingly, for how small it is, they've packed a bunch of features and a bunch of room in this vehicle. It's overall great, and you just don't see that with crossovers. Most crossovers, they either have no trunk room or have no back seat, and GM just went overboard, and they were able to get everything that you need in this tiny little package. Overall, driving on these snowy roads and stuff, it handles extremely well, seems to go well through snow, especially with all-wheel drive. Honestly, if I were to get a crossover, this would probably be the one, because it just checks marks all the boxes that I personally like seeing in a vehicle. And if you guys are interested in this vehicle, it is sold at my dealership that I work at here, Red Nolan Cadillac. And please like, subscribe, and share this video to anyone you think may like this. And I hope you guys have a great day.